Tifu by getting my balls twisted. Obligatory. This happened last night, and reporting from my hospital bed this morning, my girlfriend and I were in a Chipotle parking lot when I see a father in the next car over, parked pretty close, letting me get out of the car first. I tried to hurry up getting out cause it was cold as hell out then. I get the feeling that my balls just got squished, thought no big deal, I'll ride the pain out. 1 hour later. The pain is still there, and I'm about to vomit. Worst pain of my life as I'm sitting on the toilet letting the boys dangle, even though they were packed up nice and tight and now swollen. I read about testicular torsion on web and shit. I might lose my ball. Went to urgent care, and was told to go to the ER 2 hours later, and a lost covered test delaying my surgery. Thanks doc. I'm being put under the knife for the first time when I come to. A wonderful nurse gave me Mardi Gras beads, sparkling applesauce, and a pair of 2021 glasses. Thank you all nurses, doctors and surgeons and staff for putting your life on the line for my balls and everyone else. I just hope my insurance covers party supplies. Happy 2021 y'all. Edit. Sparkling applesauce is what they give you after they put you on a shit ton of morphine and anesthesia. It looks and tastes a lot like sparkling apple juice, but when you're that far gone you missed. I can say applesauce. TLDR. Got testicular torsion on I by getting out of a car trying to be nice. Duck 2020. I regret being nice. On today's episode of things I didn't know I should been worried of, and that will give me anxiety from now on. Welcome to the club. Methodica. This shit has been a plague in my mind for years now. Every time I get a strange and slightly painful feeling down there I think, well, that's it. You done did it. And then I have to carefully feel my sack. Thank you, Venture Brothers. Link. b/Fleckka744. This sub has also made me self-examine for lumps more. I'm not paranoid or checking constantly, but if I'm drying off after a shower I sometimes feel just to check. This sub has me believing that testicular torsion is inevitable at some point in my life. Cool. The best comment I ever had is about testicles. E2, is it when they twist together or twist independently? Exclamation mark. Well, according to the doctor, it's only very common in people that have less attached balls that can like spin around. Some people have attached balls I guess, and you can have the surgery done voluntarily whenever to make sure it never happens. I hope it never does. I had suffered from torsion as a young teen with no apparent cause. The pain happened a few times, but would quickly go away until the day it didn't, and brought along swelling and the need to get rushed to the ER and have emergency surgery. I woke up and he had cut into both sides, which I hadn't expected, and I learned he basically used stitches to attach them to the inside of the scrotum so they could never twist up again for the rest of my life. There are scars if you look for them, but no other issues. No sensation of abnormality or anything. Doc had said if I'd have waited an hour longer I would have lost it. He also said immediately after untwisting it the swelling subsided. Scary time. But I'm still grateful some 25 years or so later for that surgeon which got woken up by a call to come in at 3 AM and cut me open. For some reason my fear of this has increased in the past few months. Same dude. A buddy told me about it a few years ago, and I've been waiting for it to happen since then. An old childhood friend's oldest brother worked as a co and lost one of his balls when a shield hit it the wrong way. That shit ducked me up, and it was true, the parents confirmed, haha. But for real, just laying on my side in my bed has me thinking about this shit, and it increased in quarantine. IDKY. When I come to, a wonderful nurse gave me Mardi Gras beads. A missed opportunity to give castanets instead. Underrated comment. Hopefully someone awards you. I know we weren't supposed to go out, but you didn't need to host your own eyeball drop. You know, if I had to lose my ball, I would try to bring it home, just so I can drop it at midnight on every night. So at least there is a tiny silver lining to that horrible shit. Played soccer in high school. Kid on my team took a ball to the balls. One testicle turned around and cut off the blood supply. By the time he realized what happened and got to the ER they had to remove it. Forever went by, you know, after that. Damn. Kids are ruthless. Damn it, I understand that pain, my friend. Unfortunately I left one testicle at the hospital when I left. My heart and balls go out to you, man. I had this before when I was 13 or 14. Woke up thinking I had to take a shit because my belly was hurting too much. When I was at the toilet I looked down and see my right testicle 3x bigger than the usual. Dude, I had a lot of different pain in my life. Broke my collarbone 3 times. Broke my foot, etc. But I can say 200% sure that testicle torsion was by far the most aggressive pain I've felt. I went to the hospital ASAP, and when I arrived, after vomiting 2 times, I passed out because of the pain. Had to be operated in emergency, otherwise I would lose my testicle. Everything went okay, and I can say that my testicles are pretty healthy. They never let me down. Did you lose your ball, or did the doctor adjust it? Luckily they were able to adjust it and keep it alive. Hey, nice balls, man. Long ball Larry feels your pain. Why is this so far down? I keep thinking of the song Twist and Shout. Come on and twist a little closer now. Okay, excuse me, but what the duck is going on in the comment section? Seems like everyone here feels to share the story of how they almost lost their dangly bits, and they apparently want to make it sound very common. No one I've ever met has to share an experience like this. And all doctors I know, as well as multiple sources, say the likelihood of it happening is reported between 0.004 to 0.025% for people under 25. It occurs once in every 4,000 to 25,000 people depending on where you live, and if you're over puberty the chances go significantly down from that. It's only common for people with a deformity that results in less tissue holding the testicle in place. Not common at all. I know all of you here have had bad experiences, but it should be made clear it's not something every male should immediately start worrying about and plan for. Someone here said it's 50-50, and another guy even said it's going to happen one day definitely, so better have surgery. This is a terrible source of misinformation for a sensitive matter. My balls already hurt. Don't spread fear please. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. Edit. Thanks for my first gold kind redditor. Happy New Year's, and always check your doctor if something's wrong. Guys and gals. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. Scrolled way the duck down for this comment. Seriously. It's super rare. Yeah, you'll need to chill the duck out. Totally hear you buddy. I ended up in the ER on the previous night on the 30th of December with possible testicular twist. Doctor said it was just an infection, wanting to send me home with antibiotics. The pain was so bad that I was getting spasms on the whole left side of the body. I talked to the nurse and tried to explain that I certainly feel that it's not infection. Nurse was nice enough to convince the doctor to take another look. Then he talked to me again and examined it better. Even though he was convinced that it wasn't torsion as tests was sitting low in the sac, I was able to feel her, not in the spermatic cord, and I was able to show him that. He still kept saying that it was tender and inflamed but not. Anyways, after a bit of more explaining, he manually manipulated it by doing maneuver that is basically unscrewing a bulb and screwing it back. I was relieved of pain instantly. When I told him that, he giggled and said, I will start you on antibiotics. I didn't take antibiotics. Went home pain-free after 3 worse hours of my life. Was up almost every of that night hour adjusting the ball to make sure they are in right place. I advise you to have surgery on them now, so you clear the risk of losing them when the pain backs. Trust me, I also had testicle torsion. Yeah, for sure. I'm going to see my family doctor to do ultrasound and go from there. I don't want to go through that pain again, or even risk the torsion. Definitely will go for surgery to avoid it. But I don't know if my doctor will advise that or not. We'll see how it goes. My classmate from primary school had this. He just sat down wrong or something on the beginning of the class one day. By the half of the class he was sweating from pain. We didn't make fun of him despite being stupid little kids. But I have a fear to this very day that this could happen to me. It's scary as hell. I don't have balls but I'm wincing. I have balls and they are wincing. I have balls and they are twisting. Old school. Kid in the neighborhood jumped his bike and crushed his testicle on the banana seat. I lost a soldier a few years ago to the same thing. Try to be positive and look at the bright side. The sack is half full. I've been asked by friends if I'd considered getting a prosthetic replacement. My answer is always the same. No. Unless the replacement is wirelessly chargeable, with Bluetooth capability, a speaker and RGB options. Hell, make it app controlled. I refuse to let them cut me again without a major upgrade. Exactly. You're right in not getting a prosthetic. It's idiotic. Now, I hope this never happens to me, but if it does, I'm not getting a prosthetic either. Why have useless weight in your sack? The most disturbing thing about this story is that Mardi Gras doesn't start until January 6th. Insert the Venture Brothers reference here. Were you roughhousing with your brother? It's the worst pain ever. I'll tell you that now. Best to tuck in your balls in the morning before going out to avoid them getting tangled. I'll let my wife hang on to mine so I know they're safe. Exactly what I meant by tucking them in. I've had this on my 16th day. I totally feel you. Almost lost a ball that night, but luckily everything recovered after surgery. I now have lamb sutures holding them in place. Happy New Year, man. Won't the cold shrink your sack, so it'd be harder to tear? I think the problem was I went from a warm car, loose sack, to cold outside, tight sack, and made an awkward quick 1/10,000 movement, so the tube tied up really quickly. Not exactly that. Anyone that got testicles torsion have something called belly clapper deformity, which will lead to you eventually getting testicles torsion one point in your life surely. Great. Time to add testicular torsion to list of fears. Be careful when you say suck my balls. They can twist when sucked and yanked. Porn sites should have a warning. Performed by professionals. Do not try at home. Do not dilly your billies or willy-nilly. Apostrophe. You. 2020. I was just being nice. 2020. He will pay. Even if it's the last thing I do. I'm a woman, so I don't. How do you know if yours are twistable or not? Not so fun fact. Women can have ovarian torsion. I found this out when I collapsed, puking, in a restaurant bathroom due to the pain. I was just told about this the other day during an ultrasound. They found 2 large cysts on an ovary and mentioned that torsion could happen. Been paranoid about it since. I regret that I read this. I can feel it. And also, good on those doctors and nurses for giving you a little New Year's party. In 9th grade we had to give a speech about what we did over the summer. One guy obviously didn't have a speech prepared, but damn did he have a personal story to tell the whole class. I guess they went on vacation and his brother and him were jumping from cold swimming pool to hot tub over and over, until, you guessed it, TT. Poor guy still has the nickname Twisticles to this day. One last kick in the balls from 2020 on its way out the door. Happy New Year. Sorry about the balls. Had to take a friend to hospital for the same issue way back when. Sending you love, brother. Da fuck is sparkling apple sauce? LMAO, seriously. I assume he meant juice? Question mark? Hell if I know. But whatever it was, I kinda want some. Great. Add that to my list of constant fears I'm going to be living in for the rest of my life. Don't exercise too hard, bruh, or else your nuts will get all tied up. I had a testicular torsion from playing soccer. It was excruciating. Between the time I was checked in and the time the surgeon was prepping, apparently one of the doctors manually manipulated my testicle and the string-like thing they are attached to and it untwisted. Immediately I felt it change and the swelling went away. There were a lot of nurses and doctors around and no one believed what happened. 2 weeks later I went back to the ER because of horrible radiating pain in my testicle, and one of the nurses recognized me. He was cool as duck and made light of it. Turns out I had epididymitis. That was awkward as duck, but less painful and not as much swelling. I'm familiar now with testicular anatomy and partly disturbed by how fragile they are. For the longest time after that I would get tested for chlamydia every 6 weeks. Cool. I lost one of my balls thanks to torsion. Good for you. No fun. Cheers from one nut man. And a happy nut year of 2021. This whole thread, men, oh god. Other men, yeah, happened to me. Women, oh god. But at least we're in the clear. Other women, ovarian torsion. The cover test delay here is so stupid. It's an emergent surgery to save an appendage. It's not a complication related to COVID, and you have no symptoms. As far as the post indicates anyways. I hate that we do this to people. TBH, I think it was mainly a formality. They did a second test, and it was a rapid, so I don't think it delayed the surgery too much, since they knew they were running out of time for my ball. The doctor was cursing a lot about it though, which I thought was hilarious. It's a procedural thing. When we have someone come through with a heart attack, for example, we have to get a covered swab before sending them to the cath lab for life-saving intervention. Even though the results won't come back until after the procedure is done. All our docs curse about it too, haha. Bro, this happened to me in August. It happened out of nowhere. I was on my way to work and sat in the same position driving the whole way. I parked my car and just sat there checking my phone to kill time. Out of nowhere. That pain, and I thought it would go away. Got out of the car thinking standing up would loosen things up. Felt the same way as you. Felt like I was going to vomit. Felt like I was going to pass out. I went to the washroom at work and tried to jiggle it around. Man. Even typing this, I'm getting the sweats. It's no laughing matter. I googled it at the time, and it came back as testicular torsion and the bad news it can bring. I told my boss that I had to leave, and I drove to a walk-in clinic. Of course the walk-in clinic that day was being manned by a female doctor, and even at reception, speaking through a muffled covered mask, trying to explain to someone behind a shield that you have a pain in your nuts isn't easy. What? I have a pain in my scrotum. Eye rolls everywhere. Anyway, the female recognized that it was a sensitive subject and said she could have a look, but based on the level of pain I was in, it would be better if I went to emergency. But as soon as I got up and walked out, it all ended. The boys stopped hugging each other, and I still went to the hospital. They did x-rays and recommended I see a urologist. Man, even the ultrasound technician was an Olga from Russia. Bedside manner as cold as Siberia. Also, it reoccurred about 2 weeks later. I woke up to use the washroom and the pain kicked in. I panicked, but thankfully it stopped. I sleep half naked now. Worried about underwear making it worse. I had never heard of testicular torsion before August 17th. You got as far as surgery. Unbelievable. It's gonna happen again. If you don't get surgery, you know that, right? Man, it's safer for you to do it now, or you will end up with one ball. Remind me again why the surgery is necessary, and thanks by the way for saying so. I'm sorry that happened to you. Happy New Year though. Scrotation meter. Every 12-year boy needs a fidget spinner. I cringed so hard at this. I'm scared now. Good luck though. I hope you get to keep your manlyhood. I'm a girl and this still hurt to read. I wish you and your balls health in 2021. 3. I've had this happen to me twice, and I feel your pain, brother. Get well soon. A friend of mine was on a bike trip through Europe together with a couple of friends. After jumping into a cold river to bathe, he felt a sharp pain in his scrotum. They were in the backcountry of France by the time. The doctor in the next village thought it was an inflammation instead of a torsion and prescribed antibiotics. By the time they got to the Spanish border after 3 more days riding bicycles, the pain was so bad he took the next train home to Germany. There he was correctly diagnosed with a torsion. They had to remove the ball that was totally necrotized by then. I had 2 inflammations of the balls. Not fun at all. But what he endured I cannot even begin to imagine. Why didn't you just unscrew them? Righty tighty lefty loosey. Duh, I'm not even a doctor and I know that. Did you keep your ball? Question mark. Testicular torsion sounds like a killer metal band. Want to know, for safety purposes, how long does it take for the pain to become unbearable? And how long do we have before we lose the testicle? Years ago when I played basketball in high school, my team and I were all sitting on the bench getting a rundown by the coach, and as we began to get up for practice, one of the kids, as he started standing up, he began screaming with a louder and higher pitch, until he simply collapses and keels over while holding his navel and continuing to scream. Turns out, he gave himself torsion simply by standing up. Fuck that. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.